morning again. We are here at our office in Toms River. And I just want to let you know it is a busy office, so if you hear any background noise during our time, please, just understand that we have a lot of agents working. And I am here with Janet, so thank you so much for coming with me. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, so I've been in real estate at least 7 years now. It's always been a passion of mine. I really just enjoy the opportunities that real estate brings and being able to impart that to my community, to so many people that I've met along the way that somehow feel safe with renting. And I just never really understood that. So I worked for a very long time in financial services. So at least 20 years of my career was spent in financial services. And I really discovered that there's so many people, especially women, that were going maybe back out into the workforce because I was in corporate recruitment. So through separation or whatnot, just didn't feel that they can have home ownership on their own. And it was just very important for me to be able to get out there and share with people all the possibilities and financing and that you can actually build wealth in real estate.
Yeah,
So there's
definitely.
nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah. And I think that that's true. I think that there's a lot of people that get nervous about, to be honest, I was very scared for a long time too, myself. Because I wasn't sure. I was like nervous that I would get myself caught up in too many things, or what if I couldn't pay that, instead of kind of, understanding that you can kind of take the leap.
Absolutely.
And start doing some investing. So, I remember we actually had been talking for a long time before you made the decision to come over. And I'm so thankful that you did. But,
So
and one of the pieces that I think really resonated with me when we first met was your background in being in corporate and in your recruiting and all this different thing, because I really do feel that those skills in which you've gotten from a high-end corporate background really play really well with real estate, because the multitasking and understanding how to get things from start A to the final finish line and stuff like that. So tell us a little bit about that background that you had.
yeah. So 100%. And I tell people, you know what, everything is part of your journey, right? So I spent a lot of time in corporate. Corporate was demanding. There's a lot of multitasking that goes, meeting deadlines, relationship management, and being in recruitment, I say tied very well to coming back to do real estate, right? Because people are afraid. And when you're in recruitment and you're looking for talent to move from one company where they've been for a long time
Yeah.
and coming over to you.
How scary, right?
It is scary,
Yeah.
right? And so how do you address that? And I tell people I'm not a salesperson. I really have to believe in what I'm selling you on, right? I have something that I want you to buy into, whether that was a company, but I have to believe in it. And I say people trust you because you're authentic.
Yeah.
Right? So if you come across like you're real, people believe that and they build trust and credibility.
Yeah.
And it was the same kind of skills that I had built up in corporate that are helping me now in real estate.
When we had first met at Bellworks, which was such a great meeting, and I saw what you had already done in life and some of the challenges that you had at that time when you had come to first talk to me. I was like, I could really help you build on what you had from your past and really help you catapult you, into the future. So I'm excited to be able to do all of those things with you. One of the things that that's going on in my brain, and I want you to share it with everybody that's watching you today, and something that you kind of touched on through just telling your story, is the power of women, and what we're doing. I want you to talk a little bit about not only your work background, but you and what you're doing with the two different positions. You know, you're in Puerto Rico and you're here. So talk a little bit about how you've expanded your business for real estate.
Yeah, so about a year ago now, I own property in Puerto Rico. So I have a property that I Airbnb in Puerto Rico, and I've been going back and forth for, 10 years with the Airbnb. If you know me, my roots are Puerto Rican. I'm born here, but I've traveled back and forth to Puerto Rico all my life, obviously. Being in Puerto Rico, there were just some great opportunities, and I said to myself last year, I'm licensed here. Why am I not licensed in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense, and so I got licensed, and that was also to help people. There's so many people here that want to buy in Puerto Rico, and I was hearing, hey, I'm not getting the response that I may, want. We're in a coastal town. We have so many people from New Jersey that typically retire in Florida,
Yeah.
and now have been interested in exploring Puerto Rico. And I said, you know what, I can really be that medium between those two.
Yeah, and I think, when you first had talked to me about this idea and this journey that you wanted to take, and like you were really excited about going and getting your license, and I was like, okay, like I'm always in to help you guys do whatever it is. But I was like, I truly didn't realize how much of the population is going back and forth between here, and you've ultimately like opened that up for me, so that was really exciting. I've never been yet to Puerto Rico, so I know I'm gonna be going.
Once you go,
I know, but I was just so excited. I mean, we do have other agents here in the office that go to Puerto Rico a lot, have a lot of family there, but it was really like kind of eye-opening for me. I'm a Jersey Shore girl, been and raised like here almost my entire life, so I'm kind of stuck here a little bit.
Yeah. But you know what, Carrie, I have to thank you, because one of the main reasons I came over to Goldstone is because you specifically supported my vision.
Mm.
And encouraged me.
Oh,
and that's very important. And I don't know that, listen, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that there's not value in it.
Yeah.
And you've really given me the opportunity to have a true interest in what I'm doing and to build it. I remember when I came to you 6 months ago, when we finally, we had another conversation, and I was still on the fence about it. I said to you, Carrie, I'm going to be spending 6 months in Puerto Rico, which means I'm not really going to bring you anything in terms of deals, right? But I was still nurturing my business here. And you very honestly said, that doesn't matter to me right now. I want to help you, and I want to build you, and I want to grow you. And you don't get that from a lot of brokerages these days.
Thank you.
So that was very important.
I think it's just, for me, it's super exciting watching somebody like on the other side of the desk have like this major passion. And I didn't really understand too much about, like the whole idea of this piece, but I was definitely willing to help explore it with you. And now I cannot wait, because this is actually gonna explode for you. And it already has. I mean, you've been doing amazing in Puerto Rico, absolutely amazing. I feel like every single time I'm looking at your Facebook, it's like every other week you're selling something there, which is so exciting. And you're back here for 6 months, and you're already got the listings, and you're exploding. So I'm beyond.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. I mean, you have to be focused, and look, in this business, it is all about relationship management, right? And relationship building. And so, when I'm in Puerto Rico, I'm still, social media, the phone, right? You're on the phone, you're calling people, you're still showing what you're doing.
Yeah, it translates.
And so absolutely, and you can stay, and you can still maintain those relationships on both ends. And I have to feel I'm very committed to my clients.
Yes.
And Puerto Rico is someplace that I can easily fly back to, and I've done that while I was here. So I flew back when I needed to fly back, and now I'm here to be enjoying the spring and summer market.
I think that this is something that's really starting to open up more for us as society, but it is easier. It is easier to be more mobile in today's world.
Absolutely.
We have so much technology that allows us to be able to be doing these things. And beyond that, as a business owner, and because this is what you are, right? As an agent, you're an independent contractor. You can create and build what it is that your vision is and your passion. And I think that as long as you have a good team behind you, and as long as you understand what's my next steps, and that's what you and I talk a lot about, like, what is it that I'm not seeing? What do I need to make next? What is my next steps? That's the important piece, because you could have buyer's agents in both locations while you're directing everything. And that's what I see future. I see that being built much more, so that even though you might physically be here 6 months and physically there 6 months, it's not going to be that you can't still be doing deals in those other 6 months, because you're going to have those.
100%. And so I'll tell you an interesting part of this year was one of the closings that I had this year was actually with a Zillow lead that I had while I was in Puerto Rico, but it was for a property here in New Jersey. And I partnered with one of my colleagues, paid my colleague to go show it.
Yeah.
But established a relationship with my client.
Yeah.
We met at the closing table, but we already, like, we hugged. We had such a relationship by then. And she said to me, Janet, I can't believe that this whole time you've been in Puerto Rico. And she said, but you've been so responsive to me. You've not missed a beat on anything that I've needed. You've answered the questions. You've been on the phone with me when I got nervous about things. You know, that's what it's all about, right?
You know, it's funny. You are reminding me of, and if she's watching, I'm not sure if she is, she'll know as I'm saying this, but one of my mentors in my life, and who is a very good friend of mine, she told me a long time ago, divide what you have in time versus talent. And if you can actually do that in business, you can be successful, right? So as you're growing and as you're staging your business, you divide what takes your talent, which is talking to the client, making sure you're responsive, making sure that they feel supported and counseled. But your time, right, your physical piece can be given away, which is actually opening the door and showing the house and that kind of stuff. So, you know, she gave me those words a long time ago, and it's something that has really resonated with me for a long time, and I've kept. So it's literally, that's exactly what you just said. It's emulating that piece, and that's what makes you become successful as you go. Just identifying, where am I putting this duty that I do every day? Can I divide it, and can I give it away? And that's, you know, your delegation piece.
Absolutely. Without giving up
sacrificing
the relationship with right, the client, the buyer, the seller, which is our client, but it's more important than that.
Right.
It's ensuring that you build that trust and that credibility, and that trust and that credibility, like, hands down, I think it's so important to have that face time with people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not impossible, because if you look at the way that people are building relationships with us these days, it is through this. It's through social media. It's seeing us and getting to know us through our presence. It's that technology has really built a bridge for.
Absolutely, hands down. So I wanted to, you know, we're ramping up to, like, change out a lot of your marketing and, like, just make this really cohesive transition from what you're doing and builds this passion. So I'm really excited about that. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So am I. I would say that maybe let's take a pause on it.
All right.
What I will
coming.
share is it's coming. And you know, and another kudos to Goldstone carrying the team, because again, pulling this vision together, I say I'm good at a lot of things. I'm not the most creative person.
Yeah. Well, that's why we have
exactly. I have this team here, which has been hands down amazing. So I'm really looking forward to working with Jen, who's amazing, and putting this marketing together. It's just, I'm so happy with my signs right now, my business cards. Like, the Goldstone brand has just been amazing and one that I'm so excited to be a part
I'm
of.
excited to have, what we'll do is have you come back and just do like a display of how we actually mesh this, because I think it's important for other agents to really see like, how does a marketing piece go, right? How do you create that brand? What does it look like? And I'm really excited about how this look is going to transform. That yeah, you guys are going to have to wait and watch the next time I have Jen.
Look out for it.
So one of the questions that I always ask my agents is, what would you want your clients to know about you?
That I believe in what I do, that when I am out there representing my clients, it's really about my clients. I come as a consultant to my clients, and everything else that comes from it is secondary.
Awesome. And now for agents that are watching this, right? We're going to talk a little bit about being an like physical agent, right? What do you think is one of the more exciting things that you do on a daily basis, or like not even daily, just like what's something that maybe you didn't realize being in real estate was something that was exciting for you that you got to learn or do?
You know what I find exciting is that I can be at so many different places in a day. So what I represent, you'll hear me say, is coastal living. So we're in New Jersey. We're in this great section, right, Mammoth Ocean, where we have wonderful beach towns and just homes that are amazing.
Yeah.
In Puerto Rico, it's the same thing. And I get to drive around these communities, and it's a wonderful day.
Yeah, we do live in a pretty amazing place.
It's pretty amazing. So besides the fact that I'm meeting different people every day, which I also enjoy, but just getting in the car, even if it's a rainy day, and just driving around and looking at these different homes and these wonderful neighborhoods that we are in, I feel amazing and just want to give that back because it's so gratifying.
Yeah. So now let's shift a little gear, right? What do you think was maybe or could possibly currently still be a challenge for you in real estate?
That it's evolving so quickly in terms of we really need to be present in social media. So marketing is so important, but marketing is not just, right, like back in the day, and so I'll date myself, marketing was you place an ad, right? And that was marketing. And marketing was very expensive. So there's great opportunities in where we are today, being that we have all this social media that we can market in, and just being because it's a bit more cost effective.
Yeah.
But it's really embracing that and getting comfortable with being in front of the camera, right? And managing that. And what do you say and how do you project? Because your clients are now, they're actually buying you as well. It's not like when you meet someone, it's easier for me to connect in person. Like even this is easier for me because you and I are having a dialogue, right? But getting in front of the camera and doing selfies or a reel where I'm talking in front of the camera, it's vulnerable, it's awkward, but it's change and you have to evolve with it. And so that's been a challenge for me, but it's something that I continue to work on.
I think that that voice is emulating of many agents, many agents, and even for me as well. I still am very challenged or feel very challenged in doing different things. Not this kind of a thing, because I feel like this is almost what I do all day long. This talking with you guys and coaching with you, this is just me. But when I feel like, okay, now I have to be on stage, right? I have to be on something. I have to like say something specific or do a video of just me and it's just my mind. It's like that self-talk kind of starts happening, and which is not sometimes always good. Right. We have to be careful of that. So yeah, I definitely, and I think keeping up with the technology of today is it's
Ever
constantly
evolving.
forever.
Which one is it? It's a TikTok. I mean, I can't keep up.
And then it's like I have to be on everything, and then you feel like, how can I do it all?
How do you manage it all?
And it used to be, we used to just do an ad, put it in the paper, and we were done, right? So yeah, it's
And now we have AI, so you just tell AI to post it.
exactly post it to all of this. Yeah, that's so crazy. All right, well, I am so happy to have you with me. I cannot wait to see all of the new stuff that we're going to be doing. So Janet's only been with me for about 2 months.
Yeah, well,
Right, 2.5 months. Like it was right after Easter, right?
yeah.
So about 2.5 months, and we are working really hard. So you're doing absolutely amazing, and I really just can't wait for all of you to see. Now, before we go, I always ask each person. You have my undivided attention right now. Is there one question you would ever want to ask me?
Absolutely. I don't think that I ever asked you this, but as I mentioned, passion for women, right? Not just buying homes, but even building businesses. And so you started out in brokerage and then stepped out and created your own. So what inspired that?
Brian. And my husband. So I would say my husband first, definitely. He's always been my champion to do, and he's constantly been saying, do this, go get your own brokerage from, I mean, when we were in our 20s. But
I mean, you're not in your 20s anymore?
no, a little bit older. But Brian actually was the one who created the true opportunity. So my husband's always been encouraging me and pushing me and like telling me, but I always felt like I was kind of like I didn't have the wherewithal, the money, the backing to actually do it.
And Brian is?
And Brian is my partner in the company. So Brian Tello. So he actually was like, here you go. This is what we're gonna do. We got investors, and he's just said, all right, just make it happen. And I went to my husband and I'm like, what do you think? He's like, I've been telling you for 30 years. And I'm like, I know.
That's great. That's great.
But yeah, so I have a huge support staff or people behind me. And I think that there was a moment too, I would want to say, because it doesn't take just one person. It's like, okay, the one person is encouraging you. Another person's kind of like, here, kind of like, it was almost like the lottery ticket. So what do I do? And then there was a moment that I had with my daughter. I had shared with her that this was an opportunity that I was given, and what she thought about it, and she was super excited for me. And then there was a moment in those couple of weeks that we had that I actually didn't almost do it. And I remember sharing with her my thought of, and I remember almost like this reflection of disappointment, like she wasn't disappointed in me, but she was like, wait a minute, what? And in that moment as a mother, I couldn't turn back, because I was like, if I do, then what lesson would I be teaching her? Just to be scared of something ahead of you, and not go for your dream. So I think a combination of so many things.
That's good.
Yeah.
Can I ask you what the fear was?
Failure. I think that is something that, I think we all have that. It was, is this really going to be able to happen? Will it just, I went through the recession too with real estate, and that has always kind of been something in the back of my head, like, what if something happens again and then I can't make it? But as I've built this, and in the last couple of years that I've learned is definitely go for what you want and just jump in the deep ends. But also, if you're doing something for others, it's inevitable for it to be successful. Mm-hmm. And I feel that my daily focus is for all of you, because it's what I'm so passionate about, is just helping you guys create, like you just even saying what you said today, and that passion that you have to build what you're going to be building. And I get to be a part of that, and I get to watch that. It's crazy, that feeling that you have.
That's it.
Yeah.
And knowing that you can do it even if there's fear, right?
Yeah.
So I tell this to myself all the time. Well, there's two things that I'd say. Do it afraid, right? Because
Oh, I love that.
afraid, it doesn't matter, just do it. And I big follower of God, so faith over fear. So every time fear kicks in, it's like, it's faith. And that may sound like cliche to some people, or like it's just not, it's simple. I know it's definitely more than that, because you have to put in the work behind that. But it's great that you had a support system, and that support was males, that that you have men that actually do cheer on and support women to do it. And I love that perspective, because I think if I learned those things, right, I probably learned it through men, right? So I started in financial services, and men somehow, they're afraid, but they still do it. They do it afraid. So I probably learned that.
That is
from
so
them.
crazy. I do. Yeah. I don't like.
Women are always afraid,
it?
and then we back up. But it's just like, you know what? You have to learn that failure is part of success. So you can't have success without failure.
Totally.
Because when you have failure, you're learning within the failure. So don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
That's okay. Just do it anyway.
Denzel Washington says, "Fail forward" or something like that, right? And I loved that. Like, he has that podcast, or not podcast, he has that video that he says that, and I'm like, that was always something that kind of resonated. But I love you were saying that's like something I'm gonna have to have. Jen will have to put that in there.
I don't remember where I got it from, but
video.
somewhere along the line. But we're always afraid, and as women, I think we carry so much that we have that pressure that we don't want to let anybody down. Like you just said, your daughter, and great, use it as an inspiration.
It did. It catapulted me. And there's moments where I'll still think about, we were literally just like hanging out, talking. I could see where we were. I could see her face, and I believe that through that moment, I did really push her, because she was in a very big deciding moment for her life and where she was going. And I think that we have to sometimes just stop and see what's around us and allow others to really motivate what we're doing.
And look, how many agents are on your roster?
120 right now.
After how long?
So 2.5 years. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes. Well, you guys, I really, I am in awe. I come in awe, and this is why I love doing these podcasts, because meeting my agents is so important for me, to show you guys what I get to be a part of every day, and the journeys that I get to be a part of every day. It's just extraordinary. And so that's why I want to share all of you with everybody.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for watching, and join us next time on our Meet the Agents.